Fine all the week, it was fine for training, so I'm not quite sure how it will turn out.
What difference will this make to the game plan, though?
Well, it'll make no difference to the game plan as such, because you can't change the game plan just because it's wet, you know, but it might make a difference to conditions, because it was very dry for the last few weeks. Rain will make it very greasy on top, and, you know, little mistakes can be made and can make the difference between winning and losing.
A big game for Garvin McCarthy, his first game for Cork, a huge one to come into.
Well, it is, but I mean, he was unavailable to us from the start of the year. We were looking at him, we wanted him, but he was injured for a long time, and I suppose it's difficult coming into a months of final and hoping to do well, you know, but I think he'll do a good job for us today.
Well, it gives us the experience, Tony, I suppose, really, you know, coming into a game like this. But, you know, they're a game in itself, and Munster final is a once-off, and, you know, it's all to play for, and they're given 70 minutes at the end of the day.
Would you have preferred for a dry day?
I don't know. I mean, we have to take it as it comes. We trained on the wet conditions, we trained on the dry conditions. It could be a bit slippery, but we just have to take it on board now and just apply ourselves.
Waterford are some people's favourites. It's too close to call, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's anyone's game. If you slip up here or there, maybe a decision one way or the other. Some guy might just produce the goods that you didn't expect it. So, you know, it will go down all the way right down to the very end.
Oh, the old mind games are starting here in Thurles already. The parade had started at Waterford. We're in the parade. Cork weren't. They were still having their photograph taken. So we're used to this kind of stuff, me, Tomas.
Well, we were late for the parade. I hope we're not late for the throwaway. That's the big thing, you know. I mean, they'll remember after the game who won the match. They won't remember who's in the parade at the start of it, you know. So,
how are things in Cork? You all set for this?
Yes, I think there's an air of confidence on the basis of the team that at the date at this stage, but it was the placing of the defence, putting John Garner back right half back, I think was the big bonus really, because he made a difference when he went back there against Limerick, and hopefully he's actually going into the forward inside line for Waterford, because they've scored so many goals. So if we can stop the supplies in there, get a return from win this match, Michael, we need to get a return from our half forward line, because that Waterford defence, Ken McGrath, Brian Phelan, Tony Brown, they've been the launch pad
2 years ago, and yet there's an atmosphere of the new kids in the block almost, because I suppose they're playing Cork maybe.
Yeah, and I suppose really the chips are down from today. They have to win today, because they have to put themselves forward as serious All-Ireland contenders. If they win, they'll do that. The big question today is, will the tactic they have used so well so far, dragging out the full back line, allowing Dan Shanahan to go, will Cork counteract that? Tomas has put his finger on the button. The secret of Cork's success is the half-forward line. Can they get enough possession to supply that lethal full-forward line with the ball? Now, as well as that, will that Waterford full-back line and goalie hold out? Many questions will all be answered in the next 70 minutes. Well, that's what makes it so intriguing.
Of course it is, Gerard. They're all down the field to answer. They're both in the parade now, so let's hand over to our commentary team for this game. That's Michael Dykeman and Ger Canning.
It's a wonderful, colourful experience here. Munster final day, Semple Stadium in Thurles. Crowd in good voice. Well, the Cork's team news, of course, has been the recall of Brian Corcoran and the selection of debutant Garvin McCarthy at number 10. It's Corcoran's third game in the current championship, but his first start. McCarthy's selection means a trio of McCarthys on the half-forward line, with Niall and Timmy already in situ. Switching roles elsewhere are Tom Kenny and John Gardner, with Kenny now at midfield and Gardner at wing half. Waterford, in the minds of many people, certainly those reading the papers, they're the favourites. And as expected, Waterford select Tony Brown to return after injury, and he teams up once again in an impressive half-back line with Brian Phelan and Ken McGrath. Some of the numbers players are wearing are juggled about once again, but up to now Dave Bennett has been partnered by Owen Kelly in midfield, Michael Walsh has been on the 40 and Owen McGrath on the wing. In any case, switching about will be part of Waterford's game plan today. So they'll keep us on our toes, standing to attention right now. And thankfully the rain has eased somewhat. Had a pretty bad shower there a little while back. And as I was saying earlier on in the broadcast, the weather forecaster's got it spot on, predicting bright spells and showers for the Midlands this afternoon. Well, before the national anthem, there's going to be a minute's silence now for a great man of Waterford, John Kiley, who passed away recently and is sadly missed here on the day of the Guinness Munster Hurling Final.
Representing Waterford in Senior Championship Hurling from 1948 until 1961, winning in that time 2 Munster Senior Hurling titles, in 1957 and 59, All-Ireland Senior Hurling title 1959, and also 3 Railway Cup medals with Munster in 52, 53 and 54. When hurling days were over, John Kiely became a top-class handballer, winning the Golden Masters Handball Championship on 2 occasions. We extend sympathy to the bereaved, agus Queenie Solace na Blahas, Aranum John Kiely.
For action. One of the great occasions in the sporting calendar. It's the 12th championship final between Cork and Waterford. Cork with 8 victories so far, Waterford with 3. Waterford winners in 2002, and Donal O'Grady coming back to mastermind the championship in 2003. 70 minutes of action. Sean McMahon, the referee from County Clare, from Newmarket-on-Fergus, getting it underway. It's Cork who won the toss, playing from right to left in the first half, which means they're playing against a light breeze. That's Owen Kelly whipping it away down to the 2-man inside forward line. Racing on for it well over there is the midfielder Owen McGrath, who started up front. Taking it away, however, is Wayne Sherlock. Switches straight away with Owen McGrath, got into the inside forward line there alongside Seamus Prendergast of Waterford. The mind games beginning immediately. Pressure there on Declan Prendergast. Going back to help out is Brian Phelan, operating on the left-hand side of the half-back line.
Interesting to see there as well, Ger. John Gardner has gone to left half-back in a switch with Sean O'Halpine. Obviously, they reckon he has the physique to handle Dan Shannon in the air.
And Owen Kelly, as anticipated, has gone centre field. This is Cork's team captain, Ben O'Connor. His sister Mary is watching this in Boston, along with her friends Katie and Alex. Ben from Newtown Shandrum, in his 19th championship match, sending it into the goalkeeper's hands. Saved by Stephen Brenner. Partly blocked as he got it away. And the line ball is going to be to Cork. So we're just trying to work out where Justin McCarthy has positioned everybody in the Waterford team. It's going to be interesting. John Milan is top of the right as anticipated. But right now it's John Gardner from the Piershig in as far as Jodine. Takes the shoulder there from Kelly. Back in towards Niall McCarthy. We'll have fun with the McCarthys on the half-forward line. And a McCarthy on the line as well, but he's the Waterford manager. John Gardner, 45 metres out, left-hand side, stroked wide of the target. First wide of the match. John Gardner from the Piershig is picking up Dan Shanahan. Dan is starting at right half forward. Gardner's going to cross there to pick him up. Between the two of them, and Dan Shanahan wins it. Racing through, trying to lay it off. Difficult one there for Milan to take. Flapping at it there was Brian Murphy. In the end, it goes harmlessly out over the end line, and it's wasted possession. That was a real hit and hope one by Dan Shanahan out to John Milan. I think Shanahan should have gone through himself. Still no score. 2.5 minutes are gone. And as anticipated, Michael Welch is playing on the 40, on Ronan Curran. Over there is Brian Phelan. Tony Brown, by the way, is right half. Ben O'Connor here, playing it forward. On towards Garvin McCarthy. Didn't quite make it that time. Makes it the second time. Oh, and he scored! What a debut! Garvin McCarthy after 3 minutes. He whipped it in when the ball came loose, and the goalkeeper was unsighted. And Cork at the opening score. There's the man who scored it. Garvin McCarthy from Sarsfields in Glanmire. The other number 10, Owen Kelly, trying to return at the other end. No score there for him, however. Cork get it away as far as Wayne Sherlock. Up towards Garvin McCarthy. He's a big, towering man. Brian Phelan's gone over there to mark him. Hit away by Dave Bennett down towards Declan Prendergast, or Seamus Prendergast. O'Halpine cleaned outside there to Brian Murphy. Driven away out of danger there by Jerry O'Connor. They're twins in this Cork team. Here's the other half of that. Ben O'Connor. And lots and lots of steps taken, but the referee says that it's going to be a free in. Good movement there by Cork out of defence. This is the goal again here. Just look for the number 10 as the ball was hopping around there. It came back towards Garvin McCarthy. There you are, tennis style, and the goalkeeper badly sighted and between his legs. It's Joe Dean who's doing the free taking. First of the day for him. Man from Killa makes no mistake. It's a great start by Cork. So 1-1 to no score. But then again, it was a good start also for Galway in the earlier match we showed you on the Sunday Game Live, with Galway going ahead of Mayo. And you know what happened after that? 18 points to 1-9. Owen McGrath. Diagonally across towards Milan, but it's Seamus Prendergast who got there first. Inside towards Dan Shanahan, couldn't take it. Cork are vigilant at the back. That's away by Gardner, in towards Jerry O'Connor. Huge one downfield towards Brian Corcoran, the big man in there, being marked by Declan Prendergast, down to Joe Dean, causing some consternation. 3 Waterford men on him. This is Corcoran once again, first chance to score in this final, and he's done it. Brian Corcoran from the Erin's own club, back in the heat of battle, playing in his 25th championship match for the Rebels, and it's 1-2 to no score.
You can see the influence of Brian Corcoran straight away, Jared. The first 2 high balls in, he's broken them. Got a great point there himself.
That's Dan Shanahan. Waterford need a score, and Dan Shanahan has provided it. The atmosphere was strangely silent as he was hitting that one. We're not quite sure whether the crowd were expecting a free out or something, but it's a perfectly legitimate point.
The John Gardner tactic is not working well. There's 2 high balls. Dan Shanahan has won both of them. And you'd wonder why Sean O'Halpine, who's a very strong man in the air, would be moved away from his natural wing. John Gardner would be much happier on the right.
Well, that's something that will be well worth watching. They won't take long to spot it, I'm sure, on the line. That runs right in there beyond Ben O'Connor towards Brian Corcoran against Declan Prendergast, and Prendergast again commits the foul, and it's going to be another free in. More target practice for Joe Dean. Shake of the head there by Declan Prendergast, only 23 years of age and still developing as a top flight defender. And the Cork tactic basically is to try and put that inside defensive line of Waterford under severe pressure.
Jared, they have the option of the high ball. They haven't got that in the earlier rounds without Stanton O'Halpine and Alan Brown retired, but now they have Brian Corcoran, and they can let in the ball high or low, and he'll compete for it.
Absolutely. Dean hitting and Dean scoring. 2 out of 2. So 3 players sharing at the scoring so far for Cork. And there's a ticking there against Declan Prendergast from Ardmore, which is very much a footballing area in West Waterford. That's one back there by Ronan Curran to Gardner, to Dean. Lets him run on beyond James Murray, who looks uncertain. Dean making a better angle, back towards Niall McCarthy, fumbles, and that's enough to allow Ken McGrath in, one man who could drive on this Waterford team. Towards Seamus Prendergast. Dan Shanahan's there as well, but one-handed. Away by Diarmuid O'Sullivan to space, to Tony Brown, the 1998 Hurler of the Year. Nobody down there for Waterford. Ronan Curran's there for Cork. Plenty of time. Owen Kelly jumping, and that time the referee decides the foul is by Jerry O'Connor. Little push, I think, on Owen Kelly as Kelly was trying to reach up for that one. Refs had a word with the number 9 of Cork. Dave Bennett will hit this one. 65 metres out, light breeze behind him. Waterford could do it a score. And he's provided it. Beautifully struck by Dave Bennett. Lovely striking action. What a nice bit of fluency in that. Let's have another little look at the only goal of the match so far. And this is where it was fumbled by Tom Kenny, but Kenny got it forward there. You can see Garvin McCarthy fell on the ground initially, then swung on it, and right between the goalkeeper, between his legs, and he wasn't anticipating.
It'll be a sleepless night over that
moment. Bit of a nightmare start for the goalkeeper and for Waterford, as once again it's Ben O'Connor taking them all on, beating Owen Murphy this time, and it's over the bar. It's the perfect start by Cork and by Ben O'Connor. Well, Cork are simply flying, but only 9 minutes gone. Great catch again by Dan Shanahan, beating John Gardner. Cork will have to make a switch there. Dan Shanahan has got another 2 points now for Dan Shanahan from 2 shots at the target. Waterford playing in towards the town end here of Semple Stadium. Great atmosphere in the town from early morning. Indeed, there's been a big atmosphere here since late last night. Lots and lots of fans around the place making a weekend of it. It's the place to be. McGrath is left and he fumbles it, and Cork come forward again looking really menacing. Tom Kenny rifles it over. The man from Granada, Tom Kenny, midway between Cork and Mallow. He was on his bike that time. Great individual skill, good solo run, great burst of speed as well, but knew how to finish. Broken down there by Ronan Curran, but only as far as John Milan. Trying to go by Wayne Sherlock, and he's fouled him, and it's going to be a free from the 20-metre line. Scoring chances for Cork, 8 so far, and they've taken 6. 75% success rate.
And Jared, the Cork tactic on their puckouts, normally they go for the short puckout, but obviously Garvin McCarthy, he's 6'4" or 5", and they're using him, they're directing all the puckouts to him.
That's come back off the upright there. Paul Flynn striking it. Back to Michael Walsh. Hand pass back towards Owen Kelly. Leaves it there for Dan Shanahan. He's still got Kelly available. Going for the score himself. That looks good. It's on its way. It's over. It's a great start by Dan the man. But his team is trailing. But there's only a goal and a point in it. He's keeping them going up front. Paul Flynn has gone out to left half forward, a switch there by Justin McCarthy in the last few minutes. Dave Bennett rising, leaving it there for Brian Phelan to come on to. Striking it from the middle of the field in towards Milan. Couldn't get the touch he needed. Donald Cusack spreading it out here towards Jerry O'Connor. First touch not quite good enough, didn't come up for him kindly, and it's going to be a line ball. Well, a blistering start by Cork in particular. Now Waterford responding. and they have a lot of time to get themselves back in it. Gardner, not a good strike. Timmy McCarthy. Here's Niall McCarthy. Might as well give it to the other man in the clan. He's on the right. Niall through towards Brian Corcoran. Timmy McCarthy was expecting a return. Comes to James Murray instead. Taking lots of steps and trying to get away. Expecting to be hooped. 3 against 1. Murray forced out over the sideline, but the referee says it wasn't a fair challenge, and he's given the free to Waterford. And Cork don't like it.
It's not often you see Joe Dean taking a man out with his shoulder. Here he comes in here now from the side. Yes, you know, I think it's something that's dying out of the game. Any sort of a tackle now is deemed to be a free. It just shows you how fired up Cork are with Joe Dean making tackles like that.
McGrath's free down towards Prendergast. Breaks down to Michael Welch. He's put it wide. Didn't look confident in his approach. Not a good stroke. Michael Walsh playing in his 8th championship match today, known as Brick, by the way, in the panel. He's on the 40, Dan Shanahan's on his right, of course, and he's got Paul Flynn on his left. Phelan jumping for this one. His Hurley was being held, his hand was being held, I think, by Garvin McCarthy. It's a free in any case to Waterford, and Dave Bennett shaping up like he'll take it 13 minutes into the match. This the 115th Munster hurling final. About 50,000 people are present. Bennett to strike. Stopped on the goal line by Donald O'Cusack. Very careful not to step over the line that time. Phelan rises, doesn't take it. It's Ben O'Connor instead, setting away at a nice leisurely pace. Now injects some more life into that run, making an angle, and that is Ben O'Connor as it comes down off the post and it goes wide. The approach was excellent, carried lots and lots of possibilities. Final execution just let him down. Watch this again here as we'll look at Ben in full flow. I can tell you some people would have preferred him to hit it in much earlier. Owen Kelly, chased by Jerry O'Connor, Ben's twin brother. Owen Kelly, second time of asking, in along the end line. A chance and a goal! It's exactly what Waterford needs. Owen Kelly, 15th minute of the match. A great strike by Owen Kelly, but the Cork backline was badly and cruelly exposed by a determined number 10. A great strike and a fine goal, 1-5 to 1-4. Well, what about Cork's defence there?
Yeah, you'd expect some of the full backline to come across and cover him, but credit to Owen Kelly. He showed a great burst of pace, and he's one player in the Waterford team this year I think who's improved out of all recognition. He had a great year in his first year, and last year he went off the boil, but he's absolutely superb.
It's a lively contest, it's beautifully balanced. Talk about balance, nobody better than Joe Dean. Good response. Third point for Joe Dean, that's the first from play. Well, Waterford worked so hard to make that opportunity possible, and again it was the genius of Owen Kelly, the Mount Sion man, who took the goal to bring them right back into it. Now John Milan taking on and beating Brian Murphy from Blythe Rovers into the centre towards Prendergast. Seamus Prendergast half blocked down, almost right on towards Dan Shanahan. Coming forward here and holding his control is John Gardner. Gardner again, ball in play, not any longer. It came off Michael Walsh. Line ball to Cork. The linesman down there is Barry Kelly from Westmeath. Just look at the block down here again. Beautifully done.
Seamus Prendergast has added a lot of physique as well to the Waterford forward line this year. He's a very, very hard worker and an underrated player.
You think about that last match that we were working on together here, the semi-final against Tip. Owen Kelly deserved man of the match. He got 2-8, but arguably Seamus Prendergast was Waterford's best man that day.
Yeah, super worker, super hard. What a start we've had to this game. 15 minutes gone. We've had everything.
It's a great contest. Brian Corcoran taking on the other Prendergast, Declan the younger, and he's fouled. There was no advantage for Sean McMahon. It's going to be a free in, and the umpire was waving his white flag, but the referee says forget about it. It's still 1-5 to 1-6, even though the scoreboard on screen and also in the stadium has changed.
They might as well leave it as it is, because this will be tapped over.
Joe Dean looking for another point. He's got 3 in the match, 2 from frees, tag on another. Well, any little mistake made by the Waterford backs, if they're forced into the error by the physical presence of Brian Corcoran in particular, it'll be punished. Stephen Brenner from the De La Salle club in Waterford. Of course, Michael Welch getting help in there. Dave Bennett taking off, trying to cut loose Dave Bennett. Lovely striker of the ball, but this time, as I say it, it tails. So there are still 3 points between the teams. Justin McCarthy once again trying to design and fashion a victory for his adopted county of Waterford. A single-minded Donal O'Grady. Terrific job he's done. Took over at a very bad time to take over the Cork team, and of course took them all the way to Munster Championship victory last year. Justin was the leader of the Waterford squad, as it were, in 2002. One-handed away by Brian Murphy that time, man with the green helmet at corner back there for Cork. Plays for the Bride Rovers club in Rathcormac, where one of his mentors is John Arnold, a man who is a great lover of hurling and a man who could talk for Ireland. Often does.
It's notable there with those puckouts from Donal to Gavin McCarthy that Brian Phelan is getting well on top now, and it'll be interesting to see if Cork have another option.
Paul Flynn to hit this one. Well, he hit it well but couldn't direct it. He's looking for a very big performance. He was the first of the Waterford players when the team arrived to go out on the park. Look what's happening here. John Gardner's on the ground. Dan Shanahan is exchanging words with Donal O'Cusack. Nothing terribly angry between those two, but John Gardner's on the ground. And Sean McMahon from Newmarket and Fergus will have to step in and lay down the law. The linesman Barry Kelly's got in as well. Let's have a look at it. Shanahan on the left, Gardner on the right. Oops. Hang on a while. I think Andy Lee is the only boxer representing Ireland in the Olympics. The list is complete as far as I know. Dan can concentrate on the hurling.
It was harmless enough though, Joe. It was only a little jab.
Referee is calling them both across, just wants to defuse it. He's an excellent referee, and he'll just lay down the law, say, lads, look, get on with it, no more messing. We're here for a bit of fun and games. It's a game of hurling.
I think that's good, sensible refereeing. You know, there's no need for yellow card, and move on with it.
But he's laid down the law to the two of them. If they picked up cards at that stage, later on it could get very, very serious for them and for their teams. Donal O'Cusack trying to play the short one this time to Jerry O'Connor. Back to John Gardner. It'll give him a chance to drive it beyond the Waterford half-back line into Cork's inside forward line. Not testing the mettle of the Waterford back three, however, and it's Ken McGrath getting it away towards Owen Murphy, swinging at it one hand, stayed in play. John Milan with the shaven head. The De La Salle flyer from Waterford. Great score by John Milan. 3-1 in last year's Munster final. The day he finished on the losing team. His first of the day here as he beat the Cork cover. Two men were after him, powerless to catch up with him. And straight between the posts to put just two between them. Midway through this first half, Timmy McCarthy catching it, taking on Tony Brown. That's what he's very much in there for, to break open the Waterford half-back line. Now can he release it quickly? Going at himself, still McCarthy, very single-minded. He did very well to get a free out of all of that. As I'm sure many of the Cork fans were saying, come on, lay it off, pass it to somebody. He took on everybody, and Waterford were goaded into dragging him back, and they concede the free from 20 metres, which is more or less as good as conceding a point. Joe Dean once again. Ken McGrath, I think, has been spoken to by the referee. Perhaps there's a requirement for some treatment.
He's changing his boots, Ger.
Well, he's already changed them once before the match to bring on the boots with the long studs. Joe Dean, meanwhile, over. 5 points for Joe Dean, 22 minutes gone. 1-8 to 1-5.
Cork are going to be a lot happier at this stage, playing against a fairly stiffish breeze. It's picking up, and they'll be delighted to be 3 points ahead at this stage.
And thankfully the rain has stayed away for this part of the match anyway, this part of the afternoon. The change of boots. Ken McGrath, the player in shot. One of the interesting statistics against Justin McCarthy's team is that Cork have only been awarded 4 frees in the game so far, and they have taken those and put them over the bar. 4 from 4. John Malone, meanwhile, taking on Brian Murphy. Diarmuid O'Sullivan's back there. He relishes the challenge. Playing for the big occasion. Big man. Another big man. Ken McGrath, son of Pat, who was a great Waterford hurler himself. Up to Joe Dean. The impish Dean taking on Owen Kelly. Kelly got in, but the referee didn't like the nature of the challenge, the slap-down challenge, and it's going to be another free in, and the referee is going to speak to Owen Kelly, goal scorer after 15 minutes for Waterford. Again, the referee is saying, come on lads, I'm giving you lots of warnings. I'm sure he's ticked his number. This is it again, Joe Dean going flying forward, and the challenge, a bit of a clothesline job with the hurley right across the neck.
It's often hard to make a tackle on a small player. We tend to come in around the neck like that, and again, nothing too malicious, but Owen Kelly was involved after the Dan Shanahan incident a few moments ago, so you'd want to be careful.
Well, Waterford have simply got to stop conceding frees. Frees in situations like this. Dean is 4 from 4 going into this. He's now 5 from 5 from frees, and that is his 6th point of the game. One of his points coming from play. Take a look at the challenge again here. Looked nasty. Referee in quick to penalise Waterford. No booking, none so far in the match. But the referee's patience will wear thin pretty soon. That's Jerry O'Connor up towards his brother Ben. Taking on Brian Phelan. Phelan does well. Brian Corcoran's about as well. Waterford trying to get it out of danger. James Murray in difficulty. Coming forward here is Niall McCarthy. He's a bustler. They get it forward. Brian Corcoran's after it. A favourable bounce that time. The angle shot, and it's a brilliant score by Brian Corcoran, the man who has been hurler of the year twice and has been out of hurling for most of the last 3 years. 2 from 2 from Corcoran. Hurler of the year in 1992 and hurler of the year again when Cork last won the All-Ireland in 1999. Well, it's really putting it up to Waterford here. Many people said they would win this game. They may yet. Kelly, 2 against 1 inside. Shanahan's the one inside. He has it. He scores! Dan Shanahan has now scored 6 goals in the Munster Championship. What a display by Dan. It was 2 against 1, you know. Watch it again here as the ball was lobbed in by Owen Kelly, dropped in invitingly, and Dan rose up confidently, beat Diarmuid O'Sullivan and walloped it beyond Donal O'Cusack. 110 to 2-5. That's 13 against 11. Back come Cork and Tom Kenny, his 2nd point. That's interesting because twice Waterford have scored goals and twice Cork in the very next attack have come up and got points.
Sure, I'm amazed that John Gardner is still on Dan Shanahan. That's a goal and 3 points now, and Dan Shanahan has probably guaranteed himself an all-star with this. It's like every other game this year, the Limerick game again. It's Groundhog Day.
Nobody is ever guaranteed an all-star. We should be around at the selection committees. Tony Brown. Oh, John Milan there. He's furious with the referee now because he got a blow on the hand from Brian Murphy. There was no free given, and Cork counter-attack, and Jerry O'Connor getting it up there as far as Garvin McCarthy in towards Brian Corcoran against Declan Prendergast. Prendergast Hurley gets there first, out to Owen Murphy in the gold helmet. Sun comes out. Beautiful afternoon. Great game, a cracking match. 2 great hurling teams. Ken McGrath striking! Wow, you won't see any better. Oh, he was 100 yards out. What a point. 2 between them. 111-14. 2-6 is 12. Cork still leading in a gripping contest, which we hope you're enjoying. Coming to you live on the Sunday game at Semple Stadium in Thurles, the home of hurling. And no matter who's involved, all of the counties in Munster will tell you the place to play the final is here. Dan Shanahan up against John Gardner, who pushes. He's having a rough day. No switch being made just yet. The obvious switch, of course, is to, as Michael Dagna was saying earlier, to bring across Sean O'Halpine. I think they might just about be making that switch now, because Sean Og has walked across onto Dan Shanahan. Free to Waterford. Paul Flynn has taken over the freeze. I think they want to get his confidence going, get him scoring. He's up for it, you can be sure. Well struck by Paul Flynn, the Ballygunner. First pointed free, and it's 111-2-7. John Mullane and Michael Welch have done a switch now. That'll be interesting to see how that pans out. So 111, 14 points to 2-7, 13. Garvin McCarthy challenging here with Brian Phelan. Drops down to a Waterford man, to Owen Kelly, who's everywhere. Lobbed the ball in for the second goal for Waterford. That's Seamus Prendergast blocked down. Comes out here to the centre. Brian Murphy getting it away. Tom Kenny. Pressure there on Kenny, and it's paid off for Dave Bennett. The strike not quite inch perfect. Just a little bit outside the right hand upright there, Dave Bennett. Well, you think about going into this match, in the last 3 games, Dan Shanahan had scored 6 goals and 4 points. That includes the league final loss to Galway, and a goal and 3 today. So that's what, 7 goals and 7 points for the big number 11 of Waterford. He's on fire. Joe Dean at the other end. Brian Corcoran, hand passed outside. Jerry O'Connor waiting for it. Jerry settling himself, going for the strike, and he gets the point. Jerry O'Connor from Newton Chandram in North Cork, the current club champions. 112-2-7. The game is flying and only 29 minutes gone. Dave Bennett onto it. It's a wonderful contest. It's a great Munster final. Paul Flynn taking David O'Sullivan this way and that, steadying himself, making a better angle. It's great shooting, and it's a second for Paul Flynn. Let's hope they can keep going at this pace.
Yeah, I think Paul Flynn is much more effective in near the goals. He doesn't have the pace to play out the field, and John Mullane has gone out the field now, and that'll suit him and might bring him into the game.
This is where Waterford drag themselves back into it once again to within a point of Cork.
Cork are playing into the wind now, and I think that's suiting them, because the ball is dropping short and they're leaving loads of room for the full forward line. But they're in trouble on the puck out. I don't know what they're going to do with the wind in the second half. They're losing all the puck outs now at this
As
stage.
you say, they've lost another one here. Michael Phelan, it was touched after that by Garvin McCarthy. It'll be a line ball to Waterford. 5 minutes to go to half-time. A game of great pace, great fluency, great artistry as well. Wonderful scores from terrific individual duels all over the park. And when you're sipping your tea in the midst of winter and you've got nothing other than showers to look out at and you're dreaming of the summer, well, this is what you think about, being here. The sun's out, the teams are out, and the game is flying. Towards John Mullane, cleverly lets it run on beyond Brian Murphy. Mullane looking for an equaliser for Waterford. 4 men are on him and he takes too many steps, and it's a free out. The fans are on their feet, and John Mullane with a puzzled expression on his face. He was expecting to get a free in that time. Sean McMahon wasn't buying it. Let's have a check on a possession stat which we have for you here, and it's 53% for Cork, 47 for Waterford, but only a point between them, I think. 112 is 15, 2-8, 14, and this time it's a free in for Cork. Ben O'Connor winning the free. Things are going nicely for them, but they're still a bit porous at the back. So this to stretch the lead, but let's have a look at this again. John Mullane here, and He was fouled, it appeared to me, by Tom Kenny. He got nothing out of it, and the Waterford fans will be very, very unhappy.
He's certainly receiving plenty of attention every time he gets the ball, and I think Waterford will feel Cork have got a couple of 50-50 frees up the other end, you know, whereas that looked a free to me. I didn't see too many steps there.
It certainly did. Joe Dean to hit. He's on fire. He's got his 7th point of the match. 6 of them coming from frees. And the more Waterford concede frees in those kind of situations, the more confident the little man from Killa is going to get. Just 27 years of age, Joe Dean. He's been around since 1996, and Cork were trounced at Páirc Uí Chaoimh by Limerick that year in the first round of the Munster. In the middle of the field, trying to win the duel here is Tom Kenny. Forward there by Wayne Sherlock, just getting it out as far as Jerry O'Connor. People have been saying for years the place to play him is midfield. This is his big day. It's Waterford's big day as well. Owen Kelly striking, and that has carried to the right, and the inside forwards are furious with him there. They feel that Kelly should have dropped it into either Owen McGrath, who's waiting in front of goal, and Paul Flynn was there as well. Bad judgment by the number 10 this time. And 1 minute of added time to be played at the end of the 35, so we've got about another 2.5 minutes before the half-time whistle. Kelly beaten for it this time by Niall McCarthy, and he wrestles him to the ground. Not much doubt about this challenge. The referee is again lecturing. There's a Waterford player down, as you can see, scoring chances 19-17. 19 chances for Waterford in the blue and yellow ball on the right hand side. That's Tony Brown, who's down injured. Well, he's one player whose influence Waterford could not afford to lose on a crucial day like this. He's playing in his 25th championship match, and Justin McCarthy realises what a truly gifted performer he's got in Brown. Towards the end of a wonderful career, he's made the transition from midfield back to half-back. During the league he was playing centre-half, but that was only by way of keeping the seat warm until Ken McGrath, the captain, was recovered from injury. And then they have fitted in seamlessly into a newly constructed half-back line, and it's worked well. Well, there's got to be another free, so Joe Dean, who is a total of 7 from 7 from his shots so far, but in fact it's Ben O'Connor who's going to take this one. It's further out. Looks okay. The umpires look at it and say yes. Man on the right had the best vision. Man on the left waved the white flag. Ben O'Connor's 2nd point of the game. Stephen Brenner to puck this one out. Stephen playing in his 11th championship match. Tom Kenny racing for it in midfield with Dave Bennett. Trying to take it up over there was Tony Brown, happily recovered. Seamus Prendergast beaten. Cork there in numbers, plenty of green helmets. It's Jerry O'Connor taking it, looking for support. Getting it there from Garvin McCarthy. Up towards Brian Corcoran. And really putting his feet in the ground there, not being upended, was Declan Prendergast in the end of it, pushing and charging, and it's going to be a free out for Waterford. And that'll take a tiny bit of the pressure off their inside line, their back line, which has been pretty sorely tested. Ken McGrath striking it, getting great length into it, down towards his brother Owen, who'll struggle to keep it in play, and it just runs beyond him. He had an early chance right at the very beginning of the game, but we haven't seen an awful lot of him since.
I think the Waterford forwards will get more room in the second half as well, playing into the wind. You know, they're very crowded all through the first half. They're going to be glad of the break. It's been a hectic first half. Super hurling. 1-14 for Cork. That's some score to get into the wind in the Munster final.
1-14 to 2-8. That's 17 points to 14. It's been a terrific first half. Two teams, full credit to them. They really went at it. And we had a goal by Garvin McCarthy, the newcomer, after 3 minutes. Dan Shanahan inevitably coming in with one after 25 minutes, complementing the goal by Owen Kelly 10 minutes earlier. Very little between the teams. Bit of repair work for the coaches to do, but at half-time, it's Cork who lead by 1-14 to Waterford's 2-8. Well, we're going to draw breath now at the end of all of that, and I think we can go down to the sideline now and join our reporter, who is Tony O'Donoghue. Tony.
Thanks very much indeed, Ger. Well, it's very hard to draw breath. What an incredible contest. John Allen from Cork joins me. An excellent first half.
An excellent first half, yeah. We got off to a great start, got a fortunate goal and got a few nice points, and then let Waterford back into us, and then we went ahead again with some more very good points, and then we kind of gifted Waterford a goal, but all in all a very good contest. We're quite happy with the way fellas are playing, but it's all to do, obviously.
How important is the breeze, do you think, at this level, at ground level?
I think it's important enough. The breeze is quite high there, the wind is quite high. Sometimes the breeze isn't an advantage. You can be playing with the wind and not play that particularly well. It didn't seem to, Waterford's goals weren't from the breeze or anything like that, so I'm not sure exactly how much of an advantage it is.
Okay, Nicky Cashin from Waterford joins me as well. Nicky, you pleased with that?
Yeah, happy enough. We got off to a slow start, conceded a soft, easy goal, but then we settled down and came back into it, so it's all to play for now. 2 or 3 points is nothing in hurling.
Thanks very much indeed. Back to you, Michael.
Tony O'Donoghue, thank you very much indeed. Yeah, what a fantastic first half that has been. You have to have enjoyed that, because it's incredible stuff here at Semple Stadium in Thurles. Ger Loughnane, Tomás McCahey here with me. I happen to be listening out of one ear to Micheál Murray-Hearty's commentary, who's in the next booth to us here. He's going quicker than Michael Schumacher. This is brilliant stuff. This is absolutely fabulous.
When you talk to the Munster, people say, like, what's the mystique of the Munster Championship, and it's very difficult to explain it at times. There's no need for words today. Just watch.
It's describe it as balmy summer Sundays in Thurles, and we're getting one of these today. I mean, the rain cleared up, the wind kind of died a bit, the sun is out, and what a fantastic game of hurling in the first half on both sides.
Everybody wondered, could Waterford play with the kind of spirit that they played their 2 previous matches already in the Championship? They've done that and more, and there's still 3 points
and a bit more.
Absolutely.
And the amazing thing about it is the things that have worked for them so far, like Dan Shanahan creeping in behind the full back line, worked for them straight away. Their fault, of course, the full back line. If enough ball goes to that Cork full forward line, they're in real danger. But there are so many fantastic individual displays all over the field, so many brilliant scores, fantastic movement in both sides, And for once, the Cork back line doesn't seem as secure as it always has been. What a second half we're going to have here.
Absolutely.
Just 3 points in at half time.
It's fantastic so far. Do you know, I've already forgotten the Connacht semi-final already. More on this Munster hurling final right after the commercial break.
Deep Impact, Wednesday at 9:30 on RTE1.
With Eircom Broadband, you can send and receive information faster, so you can stop waiting and start spending time on your customers. Let our broadband experts give you free advice in person.
When you win, nothing hurts. Come on, get. This is Essential Kit. Keeps top athletes going 33% longer. Fact!
And there's no one I'd rather be. I just wished I had.
Never ever drink and drive. Could you live with the shame? From the National Safety Council, supported by AXA Insurance.
It's the dream of a lifetime. You and Man U training together, meeting with the players, going to 3 games. It can all happen with Mace. Pepsi are giving you the chance to win one of 10 trips for 2 with flights and accommodation brought to you by Mace. Live the Old Trafford dream. Pick up a scratch card now at your local Mace.
Golden Discs proudly presents from one of the best love films of all time, the ultimate soundtrack, Ultimate Dirty Dancing. For the first time, every song from the film on one fantastic new album.
How you call your lover boy?
Relive the time of your life with Ultimate Dirty Dancing. Another red-hot deal at just $15.95 exclusively at Golden Discs.
From June to August, Aircom Broadband gives you all this free. Call now and start a revolution for your business.
Here in Thurles, we're in half-time in the Munster hurling final. Don't forget that coming up later we have Westmeath and Wexford in the Leinster football semi-final. That's going on at the moment in Croke Park. Plus the 2 draws in the football and hurling championship. That's live at about 7 o'clock. Right here at Thurles, half-time, and it is only half-time, by the way, when you hear the scoreline. Cork 1-14, Waterford 2-8. That's a 3-point advantage for Cork. You know that Cork full forward line has looked dangerous in this match all the way through, and it didn't take them too long to get a goal.
No, and from the very beginning you felt that once the first ball went in there, the full forward line, Ben O'Connor looks so dangerous, but Brian Cotton is the real success today. He gives them that physical presence inside around the edge of the square that very few players have. And here, Gavin McCarthy, that all the ball has been the rest of it so far. Ben O'Connor sets him up here. Now, the funny thing about Gavin McCarthy is when he does come, he slips, he falls, look at he falls, but by the time he gets up again, the ball is in the air. He just pulls on it. Now, that's a terrible mistake by the goalie.
It's a bad mistake. I mean, it's a terrible start for Cork, but it is a bad mistake.
Stephen Brennan made a bad mistake in the Munster semi-final against Tipperary as well. And
you have to feel sorry for a player. Obviously, in a Munster final, your worst nightmare, the ball.
Yeah, and we've had a shower of rain, Michael. We had a shower of rain just before the game, and when the shower of rain comes, the field is that extra slippy. The ball doesn't bounce as high. He expected it to bounce up, it didn't bounce up in between his legs. A devastating blow for Waterford, but how did they fight back?
Well, how did they fight back indeed? And the funny thing about it is, that was a bit of a howler of a goal. They've looked dangerous, 4 goals, and it's Waterford who got 2 great goals. Let's have a look at the first of those.
Yes, and we had said at the start of the game that Cork defence could get on top maybe and actually stop the Waterford attack from scoring. And like, this is a fantastic goal. I mean, here he's gone right up the end line, and there's a block there by Jerry O'Connor, wins possession again, goes along the inside line, and this is a great shot with left hand. I mean, gives Donald Cusack no chance at all, and like, Cork will be disappointed that they've conceded the 2 goals in the first half period, but you must give credit to Waterford. They've come back after that, the drastic goal that they left in. They've come back very strong into the game, and if you were from a Cork perspective, maybe the one feature, when Waterford have got the goals, they've gone up the field, they've been able to tack on the 1 or 2 points. They've been committing an awful lot of fouls in the Waterford full back line at this stage. And Jodine, I mean, he's got 6 points from frees, Ben O'Connor.
Yeah,
and
Waterford got 2 points from frees.
2 points from frees.
But when you visit there with Owen Kelly, he's playing at the far side of midfield.
Yes.
Came over to this side, along the wing was who kept going, buried in net. That was a superb goal.
Superb goal.
We've talked about Dan the man all this summer, and he's done it again today. First half, a goal and 3 points.
Well, the only thing is, he won yet. You know, so before the game is over, he'll have his usual 3. You know, but it's that tactic of sneaking in behind, not sneaking in, ghosting in, I suppose is a better word, behind the full back line. But what he's done here, the full back line are still in place. Now watch when the ball comes into him here. Usually the full hit, by then now the Cork full forward line would have drawn out the Cork full back line, or the Waterford back line. Now here's Dino O'Sullivan, 2-1, he outfields O'Sullivan and just buries in the net. Now that's the best of the goals he has got, I would say, because it's 2-1, they had every chance of winning.
I mean, I've watched Cork train a few times, and they were working so hard on that. I mean, to see Dan, what he's done in the last couple of games, drifting into the full forward position, and they'll be very disappointed at half time like that. He's got in around the square, catching a high ball. I mean, and full back inside there, you must get the ball away, knock him, don't let him the opportunity.
I think O'Sullivan didn't tackle it, he didn't attack the ball hard enough. He came up to block it rather than go forcefully towards it. But still, it's a brilliant goal.
Oh, sure, there's no doubt about that. We have another break coming your way. Stay with us here on Network 2 for the second half of the Munster hurling final.
Don't just watch the game, examine it. The Irish Examiner. Take a closer look.
Hey, LeBron.
Oh, what up, Thirst?
Brother, how about a tour of your new crib?
Oh, come on in. This is my bedroom?
Right. King-size waterbed.
Game room.
Plasma screen, blah, blah, blah.
And this is the kitchen.
What? Oh, no, you didn't. Crisp, clean, ice-cold, lemon, lime flavor Sprite always at your fingertips?
Check it out. You crying?
It's just so beautiful. Show him my motto. Can a brother get a minute?
Check out these hot offers at Aramount. This Metro 3-seater for $679, the 2-seater only $499, or the Metro chair $319, or take away the 3+1+1 for $12.99. Aramount Furniture, probably the best furniture in Ireland.
Come and see the newest range of classic and contemporary style bathroom suites at PJ Matthews Showrooms, Ballysimon Road, Limerick. Remember, nobody matches Matthews, the plumbing and heating specialists.
Yeah, it's half-time. It's 114 to 2-8 in Cork's favour. 3 points up in the Munster final against Waterford. The scores have been coming from all over the place today. And one super point in the first half by Ken McGrath.
Absolutely. And I mean, 70, 80, 90 yards out the field. I mean, it was a tremendous score and a great boost to the team. And when the ball breaks out here, Owen Murphy is very quick to react. And it's a hand pass now that's coming out the field to Ken McGrath here. Just has one look and bang, straight over the bar. And that's what
inspirational score in a day like today.
Yeah, inspirational score, Mike. But he's getting plenty of it from Niall McCarthy today. Niall McCarthy has negated him an awful lot. You know, he's not as effective today as he was in the two previous games.
No, I mean that's probably to Niall McCarthy's credit. He's working very, very hard. And the one thing you found with the Cork attack in that first half period, anytime they got possession, they were running at the Waterford backs and they were committing fouls.
Yeah.
And
I think as well, Tomas, Cork made two really tactical blunders in the first half. They were pucking out the ball to the very same place, very same man. For the first 25 minutes, every ball went towards Gavin McCarthy.
15 minutes not stopped on that cue.
Even when Brian Phelan got completely on top of him.
I mean, this is a man in his first championship game. Okay, he got the goal from the start, but you must phase him into the game. But every ball rained down on top of him.
And the old ladies at the back of the stand were saying, will you switch John O'Callaghan and John Gardner? And it took them 25 minutes
Cork
to
are
do
doing
so.
one very tactical good thing at the moment. Waterford are out there for the last 5 minutes, stewing in the heat, and it is quite warm here actually today in Thurles. No sign of Cork yet, so there's a few little things going on obviously that they're trying to sort out.
Well, I mean, that's part and parcel of the mind games that go on in Munster Championship Day, and they'll be happy with their performance in the first half. Be disappointed with the 2 goals they conceded, but they're scoring the points. And as Jordan mentioned there beforehand, with the wind in the second half, it's important that Cork don't start hitting balls from every angle. The full forward line is very, very much on top when they get in possession.
Yeah.
Ben O'Connor looks very, very good when he gets possession, getting inside his marker as well and getting very, very good scores.
And Donald will be saying to him, get more possession at midfield, get more possession in the half forward line, supply fast ball to that full forward line. If fast ball comes to the Cork full forward line, they will demolish Waterford in there. They're just not getting enough for the
From a
present.
Waterford point of view, you have Milan inside. I mean, everybody's saying that, okay, he's been quiet now today with Brian Murphy man marker on him. But you're playing against the breeze, a lot of space opens up, and Michael Digan has said that.
And he has played well since he came out as well.
Absolutely. I mean, he's still a big danger. Paul Flynn seems to be getting into the game as well, you know. Owen Kelly, Dan Shannon. Like this game, there's a good 35 minutes to be played this, and there's going to be riveting stuff.
It's only starting.
They're not over the line yet.
Well, as Joe Bradley said about the Swedish maid above in Castlebar, you wouldn't want to be a Swedish maid out there.
Well, there'll be no place for them. Let's go back to our two maids in the commentary box again, to Ger and to Michael.
3 points between the teams then on this wonderful afternoon at Semple Stadium. And just before they start, let's look at the scores from Freeze. And 7 from 7 for Cork, 2 from 5 for Waterford. So a difference of 5 there. 3 points between them, and John Mullane straight away into the action, and he's put it over! What a start for Waterford! Mullane's second point. And Michael Duignan, you've been noticing some switches that Waterford have made.
Yes, Chair. Michael Walsh has gone out to the middle of the field, and they have a half-forward line now of Dan Shanahan, Seamus Prendergast and Owen Kelly, and they've gone for size now in the half-forward line, and they'll move out the field and try to crowd around the middle of the field and leave loads of room for Owen Kelly or John Mullane and Paul Flynn inside.
So the lighter, maybe livelier men are waiting inside for possession if it comes their way. Meanwhile, Niall McCarthy for Cork. Their first attack drops short. Stephen Brenner, who had that awful moment after 3 minutes of the first half, out as far as Brian Phelan. On towards Michael Welch, now in the middle of the field alongside Dave Bennett. Towards John Mullane, 2 against him, it breaks down kindly for Dan Shanahan, and Dan has put it wide. Wonderful excitement. A compelling Munster hurling final. Donald O'Cusack from Cloyne. Towards Garvin McCarthy again, and again the ball is mopped up by the Waterford cover, and Cork concede a free to Michael Welch. Free from just inside Waterford's 65-metre line.
John Mullane is after striking Brian Murphy in the face there. Would look like the handle of a hurl off the ball.
Well, let's see if we can got that, because the umpires will be critical here as Sean McMahon races in.
I was looking up the field and I saw it clearly.
You saw it?
Saw it clearly. Handle the hurl into the face.
John Mullane could be in serious trouble.
Yeah, it looks like to me. If it was seen by the umpires, he has to go.
He's been called aside by Sean McMahon. Too fired up. If it's a clear striking offence, there's only one penalty. That's a red card. Did the umpire see it? 2.5 minutes into the second half.
Yeah.
It's red. John Mullane, one of the heroes of last year, when Waterford went close, has been sent off. It's a huge blow. We just saw the tail end of that. Caught for striking Brian Murphy.
He knows himself. You can see by his expression. It was a rush of blood to the head, and there was no argument from it.
Well, now it becomes a huge task for Waterford. They have a free. Ken McGrath, the taker. They've got to remain cool. Both sides have got to remain very focused. That comes out towards Flynn, and Paul Flynn knocks it over the bar. It's his third point. Now it might be his big day to show what he can do, to remind us all what a great hurler he is. But Waterford with the difficulty, playing 14 against 15. 17 points to 16. Waterford looking for the equaliser towards Dan Shanahan, having missed one earlier on. Taking on Sean O'Halpine, having to start again. And Sean O'Halpine masters the situation. Turns confidently. Releases it outside to Wayne Sherlock. Fumbles. Cork's backs needing Diarmuid O'Sullivan, their fullback, to knock it away, but out of play. And it obviously caught a Waterford player last, because the decision is going Cork's way. Well, that is an enormous body blow, as you say, a rush of blood to the head on the part of John Mullane, sent off after 2.5 minutes of the second half. Justin McCarthy will have legislated for everything and anything. I wonder, has he legislated for losing his number 13? His preparation is normally meticulous, but it's Ben O'Connor now raiding on the angle, striking, and the crowd behind the goal will tell you that it was nowhere near the posts. David O'Sullivan now looks to be the man without anybody to mark. He's standing in front of the other backs, so he's kind of a loose half-back.
What you need now from the extra man is that he's decisive. What you often find is that, you know, one man might leave it to the other and leave it up to the extra man, and sometimes it causes confusion in the back line.
14 men, as we know, have often won in the past in major matches. They're trying to do it again as Paul Flynn gets to his feet. Brian Murphy's against him, beats him that time, can't direct it on target. Well, he's the scorer of 3 points so far in the match, one of them from a free. That got his scoring going. Long time on the road now, 30 years of age, Paul Flynn won an under-21 medal in 1992, beating Dara, remind you, Offaly in that year's final after a replay. And that was the beginning of what people would thought would be a great era, a great decade for Waterford. One Munster Senior Championship since then, but no All-Ireland. That's what they yearned for. Tony Brown patiently waiting for the line ball.
Waterford have really dug in the last couple of minutes. You can see it all over the field. Their attitude is right, you know. It mightn't be that big an addition to Cork to have that extra man now.
The atmosphere of the game has just changed a little bit. Players are tentative now following that sending off. Nobody wants to be the next off, if there is to be. Bit of caution required, and it's the extra man back there now to mop that up, and Waterford have got to adjust to that new situation. Tony Brown again, leaving it for Dave Bennett. Brown's in as well, spills away. Michael Welsh, hand pass released towards Prendergast. Seamus Prendergast now on the 40, taking on Jerry O'Connor. Another couple of players coming to confront him. It's John Gardner now, happy having switched away off Dan Shanahan. Down, stopped by Owen Murphy, the little man in the corner from the Shamrocks Club. Stopped easily by Tom Kenny in the centre of the field. Probing one in, Brian Corcoran's after. The keeper is happy to see it just go harmlessly out over the end line. A puck out to Waterford. 1 point the margin. Cork still winning here. O'Halpine one-handed down, acrobatically taking that one, juggling well. Murphy against the other man in the gold helmet, Dean, and it spills away here. Ken McGrath, Niall McCarthy. It's tough, really tough going. Dean stepping away from the challenge, preparing himself well, settling his feet and driving it over. An 8th point of the match for Joe Dean, delighting the Cork fans at the town end of Thurles. Here it was again, a lot of bodies falling around that time. Dean, beautiful footwork, and he established his position really well to knock it over. So Cork stretched the lead, but only a little. It's towards Dan Shanahan, beating Sean O'Halpine. It's going right again. Waterford now need to continue to convince themselves that they can still win. Cork with the numerical superiority, and Ronan Curran driving it away down, touched on by Garvin McCarthy at right half forward. Jersey, the referee penalises James Murray, furious with Sean McMahon, but it's a free into Cork. Critical calls going Cork's way.
And the big advantage that Cork have is the goalkeeper Donald O'Cusack. With the extra man, he'll kick out. He's the best goalkeeper in the country for a short puck out, and every time now you can see him, and that suits them because they don't want to be pucking the ball down to the Waterford half-back line.
So it's Ben O'Connor, takes them from the slightly longer range. It's just inside, yeah, no it's not. Well, looking at it from here, may have tailed at the very end there. It was borderline all the way because we're right behind the flight of the ball there, but the umpire says wide ball. Still 1:15 to 2:10, early stages of the second half. In the 9th minute, great catch. Curran again, down towards Ben O'Connor. James Murray there for company, runs on here. Murray returning it. Seamus Prendergast drops away there from the hands of Ronan Curran to the other number 6, Ken McGrath, the Mount Sion man. Beautifully caught by Sean O'Halpine. What a game he's playing. Released to Brian Murphy, playing in his first Munster hurling final. Timmy McCarthy, an old stager, he's played in the All-Ireland final of 1999. Angling this one in, 2 against 2, and the goalkeeper there to make it 3 for Waterford. Security provided by Stephen Brenner. Dave Bennett racing after, good tackle, well done by Tom Kenny that time. First touch not great, didn't come up for him. Trying to link up with Gavin McCarthy. Looking for support. Plenty of support available. The centre-half back, Ronan Curran, loses the stick. Bad marking by Owen Murphy and Joe Dean. He has the chance of adding to Cork's situation. Scores, fumbled by a nervous Stephen Brenner. Made a recovery. Ronan Curran back, reunited with the stick. Waterford standing back now in this phase of the game, shattered by the dismissal of John Mullane, and the centre-half back comes up to score. Ronan Curran from the bars. One of Cork's most famous clubs. And it's 116 to 210. That's a great catch by Michael Welch. Waterford need a couple of steadying scores. They're still very much in it. Owen McGrath, player of great talent, to Paul Flynn, striking poorly. He's missed a good chance. Yes, he was challenged, but it was still a good chance. Let's take a look at this a little while back there. Michael Welch coming up to take that. David O'Sullivan from the short puck out as we were watching the reprise of that. Back live, it's Ken McGrath. One man who will give the leadership. Outside towards Tony Brown. Loses the stick. Timmy McCarthy was the one who's lost it. Broken stick. Niall McCarthy. Looking for a way through. Being forced wide. Never really controlled that terribly well. Right. The man from Carricktool.
He caught that ball 3 times as well. I think the Waterford players are getting a little bit frustrated. Maybe reckon some of the frees aren't going their way.
Cork with 6 wides now at this stage, but they still have the lead. 116, 19 points, 210, 16 points. Free in. Waterford's free. Dan Mullane feeling his hand. Ronan Curran, that was some spectacular score by Curran, but then he was given a bit too much latitude, and Ben O'Connor being attended to in there by Declan O'Sullivan from Blackrock, the physio. That's gone wide. It's a horrible opening. 12 minutes to the second half for Waterford. Paul Flynn with the miss there. Waterford with 12 wides now. Far, far too many. They need a lift from somewhere. Cork trying to consolidate. Ben O'Connor, their captain this year. It drops short. Brenner taking it into his chest. Well, the intensity couldn't continue like we had in the first half, but it'll come again with a bit of luck. Flynn striking, and that's a nice return. Paul Flynn has hit his 4th point. This could be the day that Paul Flynn delivers a victory in this year's championship. Taken off in the last 2 matches against Clare and Tip, but he's now bagged 4 points.
And in fairness, he was after missing 2 or 3 chances, and he showed great leadership there to step up and hit a great score for that.
Cork are making the extra man count at the back. Ronan Curran now coming in for a pop, and he has put it wide. That's real wastage, and I'm sure that some of the forwards inside, in particular Brian Corcoran, is probably saying, give us a chance.
This is what happens though, when you're playing with a strong wind, you tend to go for those long-range speculative shots, you know. Ronan Curran has come into the game very much since half-time.
Tony Brown. Ken McGrath beautifully taken in his stride. What a player. Oh, there's a tumble there. A collision with Wayne Sherlock there and Owen McGrath. Accidental, but it means a free into Waterford. A little ticking for the number 2, Wayne Sherlock. Here it is as he was held back. Again, Owen McGrath is one of those players who really could explode onto the scene at any moment. Paul Flynn about to take it. This to put the minimum between them. Well within his range. It's only about 30 metres out, 35 maybe. Breeze against him. That's over. Good work by Paul Flynn. He knows what has to be done, and the fans know. They believe that it's possible. They want to win back the title, the Munster Cup they held in 2002, and right now Waterford are about to bring on Paul O'Brien, the goal hero against Tipperary last time out, and it's Dave Bennett who's going off. So a rearrangement of the furniture in midfield will be required, and Paul O'Brien from Tullow man going in there to left corner forward. Here's Brian Phelan, misses it. Lovely pick-up, great skill here by Ben O'Connor. 2 men against him, he lofts it high, the breeze carries it inside the left-hand post and over. Wonderful score by the richly talented Ben O'Connor. 3 points for Ben. 117 to 212. Cork stretch it again. Only 15 minutes into the second half, however. Dan Shanahan bustling, winning the free. It could easily now become a battle of the free takers. Just look at this pick-up again here a little while back from Ben O'Connor, and you know what happened next. The referee telling Paul Flynn to take it back just a little bit. Well, the last time a referee told a player to take it back from a free, you remember in the Limerick match, it dropped into the goal. Will Limerick ever forget? Flynn goes for a goal, he's got one! My goodness me! Only Paul Flynn could think of it! 16 minutes into the second half. Amazingly, Cork were expecting him to just lob it over. There's where it finished, top right-hand corner of the net as we look at it. And Waterford have taken over here 3-12 to 1-17. Paul Flynn with 1-5, and there's a player down on the deck.
Gavin McCarthy is down.
It's the first time that Waterford lead in the match, and the referee is calling across. The umpires have certainly called across the referee first of all, and it's going to be interesting to see just what happened. Ken McGrath and Garvin McCarthy were the two players involved in the altercation. And what will the referee do here? Waterford are already down to 14 players, and it's a case of what did the umpires tell the ref? We didn't see. We were still looking at the replay of the goal again and again and again. It's only one goal. Now the referee's calling them across. Garvin McCarthy and Ken McGrath. 15-man Cork being led by 14-man Waterford.
Waterford deserve great credit for the way they've stayed at it in the second half, having John Milan, probably their best forward all year, sent off. They've shown great heart. Whether Paul Flynn meant that or not, I don't know.
It's 21 points to 20 in Waterford's favour, and I hope you're good at the maths from here on in. I was missing from school the day we were doing counting. I was out a hamstring injury to my mouth, but we're still there. Only a point in it. Joe Dean, angled shot, it's good! Joe Dean with his 9th point in this epic Munster final, and the teams are level. Level for the first time, can you credit it, since the match started at 4 o'clock. And it is a match, a real, wonderful, lively championship match in the best spirit of All-Ireland and Munster Championships. Dropped in there by Tom Kenny, lost by the goalkeeper, lost by everybody, and in the end it went off the back, and it's a 65. I think the keeper probably touched it last. 118, that is 21 points, 3-9, 21 points. Cork have the extra man. They've had it since the 3rd minute of the second half, but that's about it.
Yeah, they're not making great use of it though, Jared. They're playing an awful long ball in over the full forward line and wide, you know, and instead of, I think, if they play a little bit cuter, move the half forward line out the field a bit and let the ball in front of Ben O'Connor and Joe Dean, they have to win it again.
Ben O'Connor to take this first 65 of the match, just inside the 65-metre line, and that is over the bar. Cork lead again. Ben O'Connor's 4th point. What a contest. Whoever wins here, apart from being Munster champions, they go through right to the All-Ireland semi-finals. and the loser will go into the qualifiers. The draw, which will be made, of course, later on this evening on the Sunday game here before we leave Thurles. Coming up after this deferred showing of the Leinster football semi-final, that of course between Westmeath and Wexford, and the draws coming up shortly afterwards, hurling and football. Great afternoon's entertainment on the Sunday game live. Niall McCarthy on his left hand side has dropped it to his left, and it's a horrible wide. Just after Cork went a point up from the 65 by Ben O'Connor. He has yet to score. Timmy McCarthy has yet to score. On the Waterford side, Seamus Prendergast and Michael Welch of the starting forwards, they have yet to score. Prendergast under the dropping ball here. He takes it down well. Released to Owen Kelly. The dashing wing forward. That's a great score. They go point for point on an afternoon of magnificent skill and craft. The great old code is being demonstrated to its very best. Watch again as Kelly was left a little bit too much room by O'Halpine, but enough to get it between the posts. Who's going to get the next one? Ken McGrath trying to bustle his way through. Lots of Cork players there. Brian Phelan nursing it to himself, feeding it forward again towards Owen Kelly, on towards Owen McGrath. McGrath taking a couple of Cork players on. One of them is John Gardner. Ronan Kerman is the next in with a challenge. It runs on towards Dan Shannon, runs away. Up again towards Paul O'Brien. There was a bit of a chop down, and the referee says free into Waterford. A chance for Waterford here, only about 30 metres out. .22 points against 22 points. Waterford can go in front now with the striking of Paul Flynn. That's his angle. Donal O'Cusack ready, just in case he would have the audacity to do what he did a little while back, about 5 minutes ago. Measuring it up. Flynn going for a point this time. He does the conventional, and Waterford lead. And he's the scorer of a goal and 6 points, and he could be the day's hero after a season which carried some disappointments for the great Ballygunner player. Niall McCarthy is being replaced in the Cork half-forward line, and coming on is Jonathan O'Callaghan from Castletown Roach, John Joe O'Neill country. So a switch by Cork, and Ronan Curran holding it up on the half-back line, waiting for the extra man. The extra man is their number 3, Diarmuid O'Sullivan, one-handed forward. Jerry O'Sullivan trying to carry it on. Or Jerry O'Connor rather trying to carry it on. It runs away here, and it's collected once again by a very alert Ken McGrath. Nicely on here. Seamus Prendergast has support ahead of him. 3 or 4 Cork players after him. He was a bit ponderous. He needed to get it in faster than that.
Which are the contrasting styles from the puck out is amazing. Donal O'Cusack is looking for the short one all the time.
This was some block, but there were 2 against 1.
Donal O'Cusack's puck out looking for the short one because they can't win the long one. And then on the other hand, Seamus Prendergast and Dan Shanahan are winning everything in the air from Seamus Penner's long puck outs. It's great to watch. A super game. What score we're having here.
Well, Cork now conceding the freeze to Waterford, whereas Waterford have tightened up at the back. Let's give them credit. 22 and a half minutes, 3 minutes, 23 minutes into the second half. They've not given away silly close-in freeze to Dean. That's a good strike, but it's going right. Still in play. Sean O'Halpine rises up imperiously, takes it out here to John Gardner. Hooked brilliantly by Prendergast. They're battling Waterford. The 14 men against the 15 of Cork. Paul Flynn, if at first you don't succeed, try again, and you still might fail. He has. Some game.
Well, Flynn has got a couple of great scores and he's had a few bad wides. I suppose that's typical Paul Flynn.
23 to 22. Oh, Diarmuid O'Sullivan, what's he doing? Linking up with his goalkeeper. They work it out, the short puck up, but the referee is whistling up. Well, now, what's the referee asking them to do?
He's giving a free out for what I don't know.
This is John Gardner. There was a hoop there by Seamus Prendergast. Well, nothing that I saw. I was checking it later. Anyway, it results in a free to Cork. 20 metres from their own goal. Diarmuid O'Sullivan the taker. 23 points to 22. Waterford lead this and they're on the attack again. Diarmuid O'Sullivan bats it outside. Ronan Curran. Down it goes nicely. Jonathan O'Callaghan, the new man in. Can he make a difference? He's in there against Brian Phelan as Garvin McCarthy has gone into the 40. And that's going to be a free to Waterford. They've weathered something of a storm. Watch it again here, O'Callaghan. He was being dragged around, but the referee says steps taken, and it's going to be a free to Waterford. And now vital decisions are going against Cork and going Waterford's way. Ken McGrath inside his own 65 in the beautiful sunshine of Thurles. They were belting on that one. Owen McGrath missed it, but it comes back to Paul Flynn. Quick as you like, nice as you like, but it's put in wide on this side of the field, and I'm sure all over they thought it was over the bar. Live on their nerves. 10 minutes to go. Does either side deserve to lose?
I think Waterford should be further ahead. Paul Flynn has missed maybe 4 or 5 good chances there in the second half. They're all over Cork now.
It's a great spell for them. They've shown character and resilience. McGrath dropping it in. O'Brien was waiting. Still has the opportunity. Paul O'Brien outside to Paul Flynn. Aware that he was about to be challenged. That looks okay. It's good enough to line it in. It's gone over the bar. Paul Flynn strikes it brilliantly. By my tally, it's a goal and 7 for Paul Flynn.
That's what makes him the genius that he is. Simple ball in front of the goal just a minute ago. Next thing he's out on the sideline, but he's back to the goal and he puts it over.
You got to credit his manager, Justin McCarthy. I think really put it up to him in the last couple of matches, saying, you can produce, now don't hide any longer, go and do it. He's doing it.
I think he deserves all the credit. If Waterford want to win this game, he's the man that will have done it for them.
Absolutely. Ken McGrath misses. Garvin McCarthy trying to scoop it up to himself. Michael Welch, Ken McGrath, fresh air puck. Garvin McCarthy's after it. Tom Kenny's there as well. And it's won by Waterford's Michael Welch, getting it out here to Owen McGrath. The shoulder there by Gardner on Seamus Prendergast. Good work by Prendergast. Cork dropping back, losing their intensity a bit. Now they need a lift. Michael Welch. Welch going forward, has support inside. It's Owen McGrath. Run into a stiff challenge from Diarmuid O'Sullivan. The referee says play on. It was a well-executed shoulder. Comes out here into the centre. They get it away. Further out of trouble. That was Jerry O'Connor. Back to his brother Ben. Back to Jerry O'Connor again. The twins combine. Newton Chandran together. And together with a lovely score. And it's Jerry O'Connor's second point. A point that will be cheered all over Cork and further afield, you can be certain.
I don't think we'll see a better score this year. It's what they did all year with Newton Chandran, playing the 1-2.
2 from 2 for Jerry O'Connor. Waterford leading by a point still. Ronan Curran. Brian Corcoran just slipped that time. He's not in the match as much in the second half. Didn't get a good supply of ball. Here he is challenging James Murray. They'll try to work it away through Declan Prendergast. Oh, it's a bad ball into the centre. The one man you don't want to give it to. Jerry O'Connor has got a great engine. Joe Dean came that time off the legs of Owen Kelly. What a match. How will it finish? Referee's going to blow the ball up, or blow it up and throw the ball in. 7 minutes to go of a pulsating Munster hurling final. The Leinster hurling final, of course, coming up next Sunday, and Michael Duignan alongside me will have a big interest there. Offaly against Wexford. How are the preparations going there?
Not too bad, Gerald. I tell you, it'll be hard to repeat what we're watching here today. What a game of hurling down in Thurles. If we can get the game half as good next Sunday, we'll be doing well.
Well, that'll be live on the Sunday game as well. Brian Phelan getting the attention. Let's have a look at the possession stats. And Waterford, 6 percentage points better off than Cork. And after 28 minutes of the second half. Full credit to both teams. A wonderful contest. Shamie Hannon there alongside Justin McCarthy. The other selectors, of course, as well. We heard Nicky Cashin talking to Tony O'Donoghue at half-time. Kevin Ryan and Jerry Fitzpatrick, their physical trainer, as Cork prepared to bring on Kieran Murphy from Sarsfields. So a second for Sarsfield's player involved, but he's replacing his clubmate Garvin McCarthy. Referee to throw the ball in. On my watch, 6 minutes of the 70 to go. Waterford just shading it. Prendergast. And the referee there saw a bit of pushing, and he's given the free to Cork. Sean O'Halpine fired up. The wide so far, Waterford have been more profligate with 14 against 8 for Cork. Wasted opportunities. Oof. He is laying down the law. Who can blame him? Great-hearted player. And they're in the square already, and it's going to be a free out. John Gardner struck that, but they were waiting inside. Will it be a disappointing day for John? Will they have to settle for the qualifiers? It's still very, very tight. You daren't take your eyes off this. Shane O'Sullivan is going to come in. Owen McGrath is the player who has come off the Waterford team. It's 24 points to 23. Waterford leading by just 1. Cork with possession. 5 minutes to go of the 115th Munster hurling final. And gradually, Justin McCarthy has been building up a good panel of players. It's not just 15 or 16 anymore. He's got at least 20, 21 men who can come in and do a right good job. Sean O'Halpine from the Piershig in Cork. Down towards Brian Corcoran, he just runs away from him. Whoops. Nearly injured himself by colliding with the advertising hoarding and the structures at the end there. But that's another opportunity of possession wasted by the men in red.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see, Waterford have had to put in a huge effort physically to stay in this game. What has it taken out of them? If Jerry O'Connor is one man I'd be afraid of from the Waterford point of view. There's a great engine on him, and he's going to run all day.
Timmy McCarthy looking to try and level it. He's put it wide. Well, it was a great chance for Timmy McCarthy. Hasn't scored in the game, and what a time that would have been to tie it up. 4 minutes left.
And Seamus Brennan has to look for his big men with the puckouts. He put Tony Brown under pressure there, and he put the last one out over the line. He needs to play Seamus Prendergast and Dan Shanahan in the air.
The meeting of the champions in Munster of the last 2 years. Vital possession here now for both teams. It runs on towards Waterford and won back by Cork. And the man who is dominating the exchanges right now, Jerry O'Connor to Jonathan O'Callaghan. Towards Timmy McCarthy, Tony Brown's alongside him. But minding the house, being very vigilant as ever, is Ken McGrath. Looking around and spotting Owen Murphy, loose, nobody marking him. Dean had got away from him. It's won back by Sean O'Halpine. Who's going to win it if there's going to be a winner today? Wayne Sherlock down towards Timmy McCarthy, won by Tony Brown of Waterford. One of the greatest Munster finals I've seen. Huge one. Stopped by Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Great ball down, testing the defence. Spills loose, Cork have it. An opportunity. Jerry O'Connor was trying to go through, and it's away. And the opportunity fell there just moments ago to Kieran Murphy. And Waterford have it back. And it's up there with Seamus Prendergast. 2 minutes to go as Prendergast lets fly. It's high. It's over. What a point! Seamus Prendergast, his first point of the day. 2 points the margin, and 1 minute of additional time to be played at the end of the 70. Cork go back into the attack. And that one is dropped over the bar by Tom Kenny. We're back to a 1-point game with Kenny's third accurate strike for a point. 3:16, 1:21, 25 points to 24. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the maths are right.
Owen Kelly is out on his feet in the middle of the field, and Jerry O'Connor has run into all sorts of positions. He was straight in for a goal there, except for a bit of luck. Owen Kelly has to stay close to him.
Brian Phelan belting it forward. survival now here. Victory is within the grasp of both teams. It's going to be an awful game to lose, and a fantastic, fantastic victory for the winner. Cork are making a late change. John Gardner's going off. Coming on for Cork is Cian O'Connor from Erin's Own. That's Brian Corcoran's club. Coming close to the end of the 70. Waterford still hanging on by a point. 25-24, and Waterford have a free. And the Waterford subs are on the side of the field. The fans are on their feet. They believe that finally they can end a hoodoo which has lasted 45 years since they last beat Cork in the Munster final. The champions of 2002 are close, but they're up against the battlers and the champions of 2003. Dan Shanahan taking on Sean O'Halpine. You won't find better sport or better drama anywhere today, on any network, wherever you go. The homegrown stars of top-class hurling in action in Semple Stadium. We're in injury time, 30 seconds to go. Waterford leading by a point. Waterford attacking, pressure on Wayne Sherlock. Cork have got to try and score here. First of all, they need to get the ball down to Ronan Curran. The referee has a look at the watch, says play on. Ken McGrath makes a fantastic catch. That could be a match winner on its own for the 14 men of Waterford. What a day, what a match. If the rest of the season is half as good, stand by for the fireworks between now and the end of September.
The hurling has needed this game, Jared. It's been a lacklustre enough summer so far, but what a game. And if Waterford hang on and win this, I think it'll go down as probably the greatest win. They've been around for the last 6 or 7 years, but to lose their best forward, John Milan, so early in the second half, they showed great heart and determination, and all credit to them.
They're close, the fans know it. Jack Kennedy has just come in as a late switch there. The 14 men have a free. Paul Flynn, whose goal was so important, drops it in, saved by Sean O'Halpine, and that is it! Waterford have won the Munster hurling final for 2004 by just a point in as fine a game as you're ever likely to witness. The winners in 2002 have been the victors of 2003. 2 championship wins for Justin McCarthy and his squad in 3 seasons. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. What a day for Daisha hurling. What a day for sport. What a magnificent occasion it's been as we go down to the sideline. Justin McCarthy is talking with Tony.
Justin McCarthy, congratulations. I think we're all privileged to have seen a game like that.
Yeah, it's a great game. I mean, with everything there is passion and excitement, scores. You know, we just had to dig deep, and we knew like in the second half we could do better. We asked for a special effort in the second half, and the lads responded. And I suppose we have an awful lot of hard work put in. It's an awful lot of hard work to win one game, I can tell you.
John Milan going off early in the second half, just after scoring a magnificent inspirational point. Surely you must have thought it's not our day.
Yeah, but the lads dug deep. I suppose there was a little bit of room above and the other end then, and everything tried up it harder. And maybe we needed something to give us a jolt, and they did respond. And you know, I can't praise them enough.
And Paul Flynn, who has perhaps not been as good as he has been in the past, came good for you today.
Yeah, well, Paul, you can't ever write off Paul Flynn. I mean, there was no talk about Paul Flynn. It was every other player, and I knew he'd be up for it today and give a good display.
What does this mean for you and for Waterford? Is it better than the one in 2002?
Well, it's 45 years since Waterford beat Cork in the Munster final, Tony. I saw my first game in Haven Thurles in 1959. It is funny, you're back here again, you know, 45 years later, and to see Waterford winning. But that's what the game is all about. We need new teams coming in and just to be part of the Waterford setup.
We were saying it earlier, though, you've been consistent this Waterford side. 3rd Munster final in a row, and as George just said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we have quite a good team. But we had to work very, very hard, and an awful lot of time and effort put in, and all credit to the lads and everybody involved. I mean, it was a day like this that we saved her, and you know, I'm just so happy for them.
Congratulations, Justin, and enjoy it. Thank you for talking to us. Back to you, Michael.
And 16 points, Cork, 1 goal and 20. What a thriller!
Thanks, Gerard Canning and Michael Duignan. What a thriller indeed. That was some hell of a Munster final, a hell of a hurling match, I tell you. Gerald Nan to Munster Mackay, to all commiserations. First of all, we have to say, I don't remember seeing a better Munster final or better Munster Championship match.
Well, maybe there was better, but we didn't see it.
Yeah.
It was absolutely fantastic from beginning to end. There was never a lull, either in the first half and the second half. Talk about individual displays, fantastic scores, massive tussles, misses, scores. It had everything that a game could have, and then right down to the very last second. But the better team won on the day. The better organised team, the team with a better plan, who situated their players, their main players in the right position, especially when they brought Prendergast and Shanahan out to the half hour and the second line. That was the real secret.
And I mean, you have to say, right, I mean, from a Waterford perspective, this is probably their best win ever, right?
Ever.
Michael Dudley said it, right? You have to give them fierce credit. To lose John Milan in the circumstances that they did,
I
right?
thought when Milan went off that they were bunched.
They were bunched, right? To fall behind, right, you were saying it's a matter of Cork tipping over the points. We'll win this by a couple of points in the end, but you give them great credit to beat Clare, to beat Tipperary, and now to beat Cork in the Munster final. Nobody can ever take it away from them.
No, and as well as that, Michael, the big questions about Waterford, and they couldn't be put to bed until today. Their character and their resilience. Would it be there? Would it be just a once-off against Clare, started to be again against Tipperary? Look at the character they showed today. This team's character cannot be questioned from now on. All of us are correct, and rightly so.
And rightly so.
But today,
Two Munster Championships in 3 years. Justin McCarthy has done some job with this team.
Justin has done a fantastic job, and the man who will get more satisfaction on this is Justin, because 4 times he has tried to beat his native county in the Munster final. Twice with Clare, twice with Waterford. He has succeeded at last. Now, he won't take that into consideration because obviously he wants to go place with Waterford. But the character of that Waterford display, their half-back line was absolutely out of this world. Now, Cork erred badly with their half-forward line, but that's a different story. But what a Munster final, and that's the thing. This is one that will live in the memory forever.
It was absolutely splendid. As we'll talk a little bit more about this, but a very important event obviously is taking place right now. Presentation of the Munster Championship Trophy.
Well, they were talking about the fans not coming on the field. They had some hope. My goodness me, on a day of great sport here on Network 2. Lots and lots of action. Westmeath and Wexford coming up, of course, soon. And then the hurlers of Denmark and the Czech Republic in Euro 2004. Let's see if they can play like Waterford and Cork. Sean Fogarty, the chairman of the Munster Council, trying to be heard. Well, there's the captain, Ken McGrath. They won the Munster Cup. Can they go even better than that? Can they win the All-Ireland? They'll go close. Great day for Waterford. Ken is speechless. Literally. The sun's come out.
I won't go on too long today. There's 2 more important games to go this year, and we're not finished yet by no means. First off, I'd like to thank the County Board and our sponsors, Glanbia, for sticking with us through thick and thin. And again, Justin and the lads, everything we asked for this year. Thanks very much, lads. Thanks. The backroom team, Paul Kelly, Roger Casey, Derek and young Shamey, who's there every night. There's much more with us. Thanks, lads. To the physios, Shea and Siobhan, and the team doctor, Tom Higgins. They've done great work this year. And as I said, only for them, half the lads will be here today. Well done. I'd also like to thank the selection committee, Skin, Nicky Cashin, Shamey, and when Sterling worked this year, lads, he brought a fresh new back up to the team, and fair play to you. Also, a new man came in this year, Jerry Fitzpatrick, and great credit goes to Jerry Fitzpatrick. This comes from Jerry. And this cup belongs to one man, and one man only, the great Justin McCarthy. And I don't say anything. Without the Waterford support today and over the years, you were absolutely brilliant today, lads. We've done it for you today. And to a great Cork team, they got to Ireland last year. They won this on us last year. So I know they won't be grudges. 3 cheers for Cork. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip.
Well, they're going to celebrate for a long time. Still celebrating down on the side of the field is Dan Shanahan. He's talking with Tony O'Donoghue.
Dan Shanahan, congratulations. Another marvellous display by yourself. 6 championship goals now, but what a great game.
Fantastic game of hurling. Fantastic game of hurling. I thought it was drawn at the end of it, and I had to ask Sean who was when he said, "You're up by a point." I couldn't believe it. It was a fantastic game of hurling. It was like, I don't know what can I explain. The crowd out there for Waterford. Did nothing to see these scenes, but fantastic for Waterford.
6 goals, as I said. What about today's one? What do you remember of it?
I remember that I could see one of the lads was sitting outside. I see Dermot Sullivan glove for it, but I just bet him to it. I don't care how big man wants to pass the white line. It doesn't matter who gets him, as I said before. Once Waterford got the right result at the end of it.
What's the reason for your upturning fortunes? You're just playing so well this year.
A lot of hard work going in, to be honest, John, off the field and the gym and stuff like that. I suppose it's paying off, but like with John Mullane said after today, I suppose we had to up our game a bit, like, you know, and for him we won this, like, you know. So he missed it. I don't know what he'll get now, but it's for him, like, you know, and for all the lads, Justin McCarthy and all the boys who've been criticised over the years, myself included. Everyone has been criticised, but it's a different day today. It's outstanding today.
Well, winning the Munster is one thing, but Waterford will want to go on and do the big one now and win Liam McCarthy.
Most definitely. We won Munster 2002 too, and we didn't go all the way, and that was disappointing. But we set out our stall at the start of the year, and we thought, like, we said a 5-step plan. We've 3 of them down, we've 2 left. That's the way we don't care who we get. We just don't care who we get.
Well done, Dan. Congratulations again. Back to you, Michael.
Tony O'Donoghue, thank you very much indeed. You know, Dan mentioned in the interview there that he wasn't quite sure who was winning yet. It was actually that kind of game. I had to check myself several times at the end. I kept topping up the score in my own head because you weren't sure if there was a draw, which team was a point up. It was just so dramatic.
316 to 121 tells its own story. I mean, it's fantastic scoring, and you would say with Cork scoring 121 is good enough to win any game, but unfortunately for them, the goals were the crucial thing today again, and Paul Flynn's goal at the time when Cork were maybe on top of that stage, and his performance. I mean, when you need a player to grab the game by the scruff of the neck, I mean, he was the one that we probably criticised over the last couple of weeks. His performance wasn't great.
And it was strange, there was the word about him coming into the game today. Nobody was talking about
that he ever had coming into the Munster final, and he got some fantastic scores. He got a point just below us here on the left-hand wing there in the second half. It was just a joy to watch, and you've just got to take your hats off to him. Great credit, great performance.
You can't put this down to one player, obviously, but I felt what Paul Flynn, and I agree with you, did in the second half. In the first half, and some of the games that we've seen him play this year, he's kind of shuffling around the field as if his mind was on something else. But when Mullane went off and he knew now I have to do something, he did. And the goal was just typical Flynn.
As well as that, Justin made a very clever move by putting me into full forward. He likes to be involved. Flynn is better when he's involved in a game. Now, when he's on the wing in the corner, he often stays free in the game. But he
for a bit of cheek.
Yeah,
this could be a fluke, but every time so often that
if you're in charge of a team,
he fancies himself.
Every time you see Flynn stepping up there for 50 yards, within 50 yards, you say, watch him, he's going to go for the goal. And here they're all, look at all the players the ball went through and into the net. Like, he has a bullet of a shot. Now, with a 3-2
question marks there on Cork. I mean, as well. I mean, Dermot, without a doubt, have no doubt. I mean,
bit of waving at us.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a ball that should be blocked.
Cork hadn't the clue how to use Dermot O'Sullivan as a loose man.
Well, that was the biggest problem. I think our game plan went out the window when Mullane went off, and we struggled, and particularly in the half-hour line, as you just mentioned there before, we struggled big time in the half-hour line in the second line, which meant that the inside forwards that were doing so well in the first half were starved of possession.
And he Baldwin, he was only ballooned in the air.
Absolutely. We said at half-time, if you're playing with the wind, the last thing that you want to do is start hitting balls from 70 or 80 yards out over the end line and wide. In the first half, these were going in front of the Cork forward line, and they were actually scoring as well.
Put that wall for the half-back line.
Stop you for 1 second, lads, because we've been talking about Paul Flynn. He's down with Tony O'Donoghue right now.
Paul Flynn, congratulations, a marvellous display by Waterford and by yourself as well.
Oh, well, Tony, like, I mean, we hadn't played in the first half with the wind, and then we were reduced to 14 men, and we kind of decided, you could see that decided 30 minutes to go, either lie down or stand up. So thank God we all stood up and went our way in the end.
For you especially, because the games recently haven't been going as well for you. I mean, we know the calibre of hurler you are, but today you really shone.
Well, yeah, I had, I've been busy lately. I haven't been training that as much as hard as I probably should be, but you know, the last 2 matches it doesn't go well, so I knuckled down last 3 weeks, and thank God the dividends paid. But as I said, like, I mean, there's 30 of us train every night as a team, so we won as a team. We lost last year as a team, but we won this year as a team. So we're just delighted now not to be back training Tuesday night for a qualifier. So we've I don't know when the semi-final is, but we've a couple of weeks hard work ahead of us again.
When you were reduced to 14 men so early in the second half, did you think for a moment, oh no, that's it?
Well, I suppose I'd be lying if I said, you know, oh, damn, you know, it's going to... but it affected us the right way. We all knuckled down a bit harder, worked harder, won the ball in the half-hour down the midfield, and thank God we got the scores we needed. This Waterford team have been so consistent, though. 3 months of finals in a row. You want to go all the way now? Look, Tony, we have our own little camp. We know what goes on inside. Other people don't. We're happy enough now. 2 months of titles in 3 years. If that's inconsistent, like, I mean, I don't know.
Congratulations again and well played.
Tony, thanks.
Michael, back to you.
Yeah, Paul Flynn. Well, that says it all, doesn't it, basically?
One for us. That's certainly one for us. Yeah.
They're beautiful in their inconsistency.
Yeah, but they have a very good scene, obviously. Yeah, I see Mickey Cashin coming into the scene this year, a new physical trainer coming in. There seems to be a new unity about the team altogether. They have a better plan. They're tactically, they're way better than they were last year. The way they move the players around, and it's so effective. They know what's going on. Yeah. It doesn't lead to confusion. Other teams can move players around, it can lead to total confusion. Yeah. But they know exactly. It doesn't upset the game plan. They stick to that. They keep the ball, they win it, they let it on to the loose man coming through, ball over the bar.
Yeah. Yeah, when it gets to the closing stage of the game, at that very point, like, Waterford are far more composed than Cork were, who had the extra man up, and you think on a hectic, warm day like this that Cork should have been getting a little bit fresher because of the extra man.
Absolutely, and there was a lot of the puck was dropped short and stuff like that, right? So which meant that when the clearances, they weren't actually beating the half-back line with the clearances, they were only dropping on top of the half-back line, and as George said, like the Waterford half-back line cleaned up there in that second half period, and they drove them forward in waves, you know, and I liked the moves bringing the midfielders into play as well. I mean, they just took over the game for the last 20 minutes. I mean, we kept in the game. We could have got an equaliser towards the end there where Kieran Murphy got possession and it was taken off them. You could say maybe a draw was a fair result at the end of the day. No team should deserve to lose, but you've got to say it to Waterford. Take the hat off them. Absolutely deserved it. The way they fought with 14 men was absolutely fantastic. And Paul Flynn made a big comment. When the man went down, it was time to stand up or go down, you know, and lie down and stand up. And they did absolutely that.
It's funny when you see the scenes there at the end of that. At the start of this year, who were everyone's favourites for the All-Ireland? Cork and Kilkenny.
That's right, yes.
In the last 2 weeks, the whole scene has changed around. We saw Troll Park there a few weeks ago with Wexford supporters in the field like that. Here we have all the Waterford supporters, and these are the ones that were told not to keep out. Imagine if they told them all to come in, how many would be inside the field? But like, that's the glory of the chapter. Isn't that the, look at the passion that it is, look at the life that it brings in. This is what we are, that everyone that likes hurling, this is days like this. And games like this.
Everybody likes sport. I mean, and the underdog as well, or whatever, like your favourite type.
It doesn't matter what sport you are. Everybody appreciates these kind of occasions, these kind of games. You know, we are so lucky to be here today to see a brilliant game like this.
For one man, he'll have mixed emotions, obviously, about today's game because he has a Munster final medal, a second Munster Championship medal, but he was also, of course, sent off in today's game. That was John Mullane. He's with Tony now.
John, a very emotional moment for you, I'm sure. You must be delighted with your teammates and your colleagues, another Munster title for Waterford.
Absolutely fantastic. You know, I'm just sorry for the people at Waterford for what I'm after doing today. You know, and you know, just heat the moment. There's been a niggle, and you know, what I'm supposed to, what I meant, you know, and because I love this county so much, you know, and it's just, I'm delighted that the lads did it for the people of Waterford today, because like I'm heartbroken.
Well, you inspired your team throughout this championship, and today as well, even the beginning of the second half, scoring that inspirational point.
Well, they're all heroes out there, you know. Unbelievable.
The biggest heroes on John today,
Mike. I can't.
Come on, John Mullane!
John, hopefully you'll be back for an All-Ireland final appearance at Waterford.
You'll be back.
We'll see what happens, you know.
You're right, you'll be back, John.
I don't know, I just delighted for the lads today, you know, and I don't know what to say, really.
What was it like for you watching on the sideline in a game that was just topsy-turvy?
Things were just going through my head, you know, and because, like, you know, I don't want to leave the people of Waterford down, you know, because they're my life, you know. People of Waterford are my life, you know, and
I love me county, you know.
We love John Mullane!
Thanks for talking to us, John. Back to you, Michael.
Tony, thank you very much indeed. Well, I think you gather from that what Waterford means to John Mullane, and indeed what John Mullane means to Waterford as well. It's unfortunate a guy gets sent off, as he said himself. One moment, kind of, and we now have to wait and see what comes out of this.
We're just hoping that the penalty won't be too severe. You know, Waterford don't play again, I think, for 6 weeks now, 6 or 7 weeks even.
7 weeks. And if he gets a month suspension, he could get back in there at that stage. If the referee if he reports him for striking with the hurley and he gets to 3 months, it's going to make...
There was definitely no malice in what he did.
I kind of half, so I didn't really see what happened, but it was one of those things you said to me, I wonder what happened there. There wasn't too much. There wasn't anything savage in it.
There was no injury as a result of it, so hopefully he'll be back, because he's so vital to Waterford, especially when they go to Croke Park, because the one test they have to pass, and they have passed a lot of tests, the one test they have to pass is the Croke Park test. You know, they have got there twice in the last 2 years. They have failed both times they've got there. They're in better condition mentally, in every way. They're in better condition, and player-wise than ever they were before. This is their chance. And to be ashamed if they do
back in 1998 against Galway, but apart from that, let's talk about another player, Seamus Prendergast, because again, those last few minutes when Waterford needed players to be sort of, keeping things cool, keeping things calm. He was getting the ball at the hurl. He was solid around the field with it, and then put one over the bar when they.
As the Moss knows, what is half forward play? What's your job? Win the ball. Win those puck-outs. They had 2 players there, Seamus Prendergast and Dan Shannon, who put up their hand in the air, catch the ball in the air.
Absolutely.
Waterford had one.
This is the interception we spoke about there. There was a chance for us to actually get the equaliser.
It could have been a goal even.
Absolutely.
But what happened? It comes down to Prendergast. And I guess, he's as cool as could be. Looks up, puts it over the bar.
And when the need was the greatest, the last against Tipperary, Waterford moved them off a foot forward again to set the forward. He ended up getting 3 points and play again that day.
And he ended up sending in the ball that Paul O'Brien scored the goal from.
Absolutely. There's great versatility about that Waterford team. They can play in different positions. There's a lot of interchanging there. Dan Shannon going into full forward, and they've shown that today they're ready for the road for Croke Park, I think, at this stage.
But they're not relying on the older riders of Ken McGrath and all of those. All of these, you have Owen Murphy, Brian Phelan. Phelan was fantastic there today. Tony Brown back his very, very best. But it's the like of Prendergast, like of Owen Murphy and Brian Phelan. They have brought a new dimension to this Waterford team. And that is why they can face Croke Park with real confidence.
Now, speaking of Croke Park, speaking about the next day out for them, because it's going to be a big day. They've done it in Munster, they've done it twice in the last 3 years. They're not thinking about that now, and rightly so. But I suspect Justin McCarthy and even Ken McGrath, his acceptance speech there, he mentioned the fact that we have other days to play in this championship, and they're looking forward to that kind of thing. Are they good enough?
Yeah, they're good enough. Definitely good enough. They're as good as any team in the country if they have John Mullane back. They're definitely as good as any team in the country if they play like that, with the composure they're showing now, the maturity that they're showing now, the absolute resilience they have now, something that you never associated with Waterford before.
You sit down now to pick their team and you pick the 1 to 15 very, very quickly. There's consistency. That's 3 years of hard work, 3 years amongst the final appearances. It's all coming together from. But there is a big step. There is no doubt about that. Going to Croke Park or on semi-final day, whoever they meet at this stage, it's a couple of weeks. But I mean, I'm sure it's a couple of weeks that they're going to enjoy.
Very briefly, Tomas. Cork did nothing wrong today.
Absolutely. I must say, I'm giving all the credit to Waterford, but I have to say for Cork as well. I mean, they kind of hold their heads up high as well. They gave it their all. They gave it in a fantastic game. Unfortunately, we lost it in a few key positions, and that's the way it goes in hurling, Michael. That's the way it goes in sport, and they can hold their heads up high. They gave it their best shot. I mean, and there's no disgrace in going down to a performance from that for Waterford today. Well, that's the big worry. That's the big worry.
That's when the real championship starts, because you've had so many big guns in there.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, gentlemen, we're going to move on because we're going to wrap up now on this afternoon's Munster hurling final. Now, after the commercial break, we're going to turn our attention to football once again. It's the Leinster semi-final between Westmeath and Wexford at Croke Park, so stay with us for that.